Good morning and welcome. My name is Flippy, and just up front, I'm literally making this video because I've run out of other jet-related videos to watch online. So what I thought I would do in a little bit of a narcissistic way, I'll try my hand at the first video, and then I get to rewatch it myself, so there's some new content to enjoy. So what I was going to talk about was the process so far, my experience of applying to JET. I am a shortlist candidate for the 17-18 group of jets going across this year. Very excited, obviously. Although I think what I haven't realized in the excitement and anticipation and a bit of the anxiety of waiting is how far I've come, and then equally, obviously, how far everyone else has come in their way. So for myself, then, both to keep busy and as a way to motivate myself, I thought I would just kind of recap what the process has been so far. So really, firstly, there was this sense of awareness, realizing that there is a way to go to Japan. So for myself, I was working in China, and then I really wanted to go across and work in Japan as well. Unfortunately, the company I was with wasn't able to take me on. Really, the reason was that I didn't speak Japanese, and at the time, I didn't understand this really. I thought this was a poor excuse for a multinational company. Although since I've also learned a bit better in terms of the requirements of the language locally, especially in a corporate setting. So I applied last year, and then I delayed it by taking a different job first, and I applied again this year, but I'm coming, or I'm going, whichever, depending where you're watching this from, I suppose. So there was this awareness and applications. I'm South African, so I had to apply by the 11th of November 2016. And we had to courier all our documents. So what was that? That was the application form, the self-medical, the 2 reference letters, our official uni transcripts, our statement of purpose, the big one. You spend a lot of time writing and rewriting that and figuring out. I sent mine to 2-3 friends of mine who were actually on the program already, or friends I made just while looking around for some blogs and something about the program. And they also gave me 1 or 2 little tips about what they wrote. The certificates of graduation, so just to prove that you actually did graduate, a passport copy, any proficiency certificates that you have, so TEFL or JLPT or similar. I self-studied for JLPT 5, so I had that, which was nice. Massive achievement, personally. Not incredibly useful if you're trying to speak or read or anything in Japanese, but it's made up of little blocks, so that was the first step. The police clearance and medical, that comes later. So that was by the 11th of November, so that's six-ish months ago, a little bit more. And we handed that in, I couriered that back to South Africa, and then we waited and we got our interview notices, so that was step 1 complete. So next, interviews. Again, you have to do this whole process through the country that you are from, so I have to keep going back to South Africa or couriering things back. So I had to fly to South Africa in January for my interview, which was a nice little excuse to see my family there, so that was really nice. So what do? We are looking for a suit. Do I still have one? Am I using it now? No. Oh, it's too small. Can it still fit? Oh, the pants and the blazer don't match. What am I going to do? And then we go to the questions. What are they going to ask? They're going to ask me if I speak Japanese. Are they going to ask me if I speak Japanese? What should I say if they ask if I speak Japanese? Which turned out obviously not to be that intense. I think most of us probably built up more anxiety than was required for the actual interviews. What happened then? Then we had the interviews. It was really my experience. Now I've done it twice. I got accepted both times actually, so I'm really lucky in that sense. The interviews are in general quite straightforward. The interviewers take it quite seriously in terms of the content, but the questions are not mind-bendingly difficult. I think if you do a little bit of research and you just go with a bit of confidence about your ability and the fact that you are enthusiastic to do, you should be mostly okay. All right, then we waited some more. I came back to, where was I? I was in Singapore, then I came back to Asia, and then we get the results. So you get a yes, you get a maybe, and you get a no, which has a whole range of emotions obviously involved in that, depending on how invested you are in this process and the results that come from it. So I got a yes, which was really nice. I think a maybe maybe is both better and worse than a no, because being an alternate probably means that you are in a constant state of limbo. You continue with your life, but maybe you don't. You know, you're hoping it works out, but if it doesn't, you shouldn't wait around. So I really feel for the people on that. I think it's quite difficult, especially because there's no guarantee about the timing either. You could be upgraded now during the process, or you could be upgraded, you know, year in, or well, not a year in, I would say maybe like 6 months in or something, you know, by the January of the next year, or not at all. So I really feel for the people on that. I think that's quite a difficult situation to handle emotionally. Anyway, so shortlit candidacy, fantastic. You fill in your reply form. You still don't know where you're going. You have to do your police clearance, just submitting whatever criminal record you have or don't have, as well as your certificate of health from a physician. So again, mine was a bit tricky. I'm in Jakarta right now, and the availability of doing a health screening is there, but the line that you have to wait for most of the obvious places is quite intense. And again, I forgot, you know, I need to give myself a few days to courier the information back. So I didn't run out of time, but I did end up, you know, running around on the weekend to try and find a place to do it that could finish it for me the next day, so I could courier it back, because there's public holidays, which means maybe I can't courier it. And wow. Anyway, so we're through with that, and really now we're into the waiting stage. So this is where me personally, I've started to just digest a lot of YouTube content over the weekends. Quite busy at work in the week, so on weekends when I have a bit more time, I tend to just kind of watch. I found two channels I really enjoy, actually, not specifically jet related, but Japan related. Abroad in Japan, he's got some, I think it's Chris, he's got some really good humor. I think it's fantastic, and also I think the content is quite honest and direct, which I really enjoy. And the second one is Dave Tripping. Dave then. He covers quite a list of topics. Some of them I think have been really interesting for me, to hear another perspective of someone living in the country and so forth. And some of it has also been kind of helpful, just a little bit of, you know, like small details that might come in handy, or give you a better sense of what life might be like. And the rest of the time, I suppose what we do is we take up with studying some Japanese. I'll be very surprised if there's any shortlist, even alternate candidates who are not studying some Japanese at this point. I've done a bit of study. Some weeks you think like, oh, it's fantastic, I'm doing so well. Other weeks you realize, oh, maybe not so great. I don't know if I'm even progressing. So what's going to happen next? We are going to hear our placement results, hopefully provincial or municipal, and that comes with either less or more clarity. It's burning to think that there are people in Japan who actually know where you're going to be placed. If you're a shortlist candidate, 99.9% of the time you're going to get a placement. I believe there's one scenario where you won't get placed, but it doesn't seem to happen. I haven't actually heard of anyone going through that. My birthday comes up end of May, so I'm considering this a fantastic birthday present. I haven't been this excited about my birthday in a long time. And then by July the 21st, we'll fly out of South Africa. I think most people would fly around that time, because we need to be in orientation in Tokyo at the same time. So that's really, I suppose, what's going to happen. I have one prediction. Right now, there's this wait. You know, we're all sitting. It's the anticipation. It's coming. When is it coming? I'm not sure. Oh, it was on the 11th this year, on the 12th that year. I personally, from my experience in life, as soon as we get the results, all hell breaks loose, and you don't have enough time. You realize all the things that you should have kind of done, but you were waiting to hear where you were going, and it doesn't actually change nearly as much as you thought it did. But now you have to finish everything up. So same for me. I'm pretty sure it's going to be quite exciting and hectic by the end of that time. So I wanted to leave with just 2-3 points. So there's the Facebook groups, and there's some conversations there. I did something mean today, kind of purely for my own enjoyment, so apologies. I think Steven was the one guy, and there was another lady called Jessica, I think. So I posted, oh, I got my results, and then kind of obviously below it, no, hey, it's a Sunday, there's obviously no results, I'm sorry, but I'm looking forward to it. My birthday's around the same time. And then I thought I would take myself away from such destructive behavior and I would just come make a video instead. But anyway, so the Facebook group has obviously turned out to be really good. The YouTube channels have been pretty good in terms of just keeping you busy and excited. Um, the one girl, and now I've blanked on her name. Um, where is she? Maybe I just sorry, I forgot your name right now. She created a line group that we can all obviously also get into, and bizarrely, I'm the only guy in there right now, so this is I'm not sure why, but anyway, so that's nice. Get to talk to people a little bit, and then I think for myself, so this is my first try at doing a little YouTube video, which I'm considering because I think it could be fun. So obviously, I run a blog now and then for some travel. Again, it's probably more narcissistic than it's supposed to be, but it is fun, and I don't think it causes anyone harm. Sometimes it's actually kind of useful to them as well. So I really look forward to meeting whoever's going to be at orientation in South Africa when we're leaving. I've got a small group on WhatsApp with some of those people. And then obviously in Tokyo when we arrive, all the best. It is obviously a bit of a slog at this point in time, so take care of yourselves, and yeah, see you soon.